This video is not meant for children and is brought to you by support from Patreon. Hello, and welcome back. I am Maester Aelix, and this is Stellaris Empires. And we are right back where we left off here on the game start screen. Before we go into today's Empire, I'd like to thank everyone who watches these videos. And if you are enjoying yourself, hit the thumbs up, and if you're not, please hit the thumbs down. Either way, it works for me. It lets me know the direction of where I need to go. So today, we are going to look at the Apochalypse sovereignty with the origin of broken Shakles. Now, this is another challenging origin, but I think I found a way to get this really leaned into stuff, and I think you'll like it. So, let's go into the details and see how things go, shall we? Alright, so I chose the appearance of these reptilian guys. I hadn't used them before in anything, and I hadn't really used enough reptilians before, so I figured these guys looked pretty neat. For the diplomatic leanings they have, I figured this would be pretty neat. Species names is Apochalypse. I took this from a friend. They are a really cool friend, except for I've only really read their name online. I haven't heard it pronounced, so I'm sure I'm butchering it, and I'm doing my best. But these Apochalypse are really cool. Just you wait. Alright, I went with Reptilian 2 because I really liked the leader names. Irza, Mazera, you know. And plus the planet names are pretty good too. Alright, now we're getting to the traits. These guys are going to be heavily diplomatic focused, and so I wanted to have their population also boosted with nomadic. Pop growth from immigration is up 15%, and resettlement cost is down 25%, which is great. These guys are also dociles. The empire size from pops is down 10%. That, you know, me, I love having our empire size down because it lets us have that bonus longer. And we're deviants. Our governing ethne attractions is minus 15%. While in some cases that can be really bad, in this particular one, it's not so bad. Alright, we are from the homeworld of Camdor, and the star name of Camdakor. It is a random trinary number 1, but it doesn't have to be. It's fine the way if you just leave it on random. I went with the wet tropical world because it looks really good with the reptilian world kind of poking out through there. Plus, you know, reptiles, tropical, seems to match for me. City appearance went with the reptilian city, which is these beautiful white towers. Not terribly descript, but they don't need to be. They're quite good the way they are. Alright, broken Shakles. We are a challenging origin. This civilization began as a mutiny aboard a slaver vessel, and it is made up of a diverse group of pre-FDL species. Another reason why we want to have good relations. Alright. Initial pops species from pre-FTL civilizations across the galaxy. Our starting planet has Free at Last, which has happiness, housing, pop amenities, unity, pop consumer goods, egalitarian ethics attraction, and will expire in 20 years. So that's a really, really strong start. We have the crash slaver ship, which gives scavenger psychs, and spaceship wreckage. Initial buildings are replaced with wreckage, which we can fix over time. Starting system has the crashed slaver ship archaeology site, one advanced AI empire, and several pre-FTL civilizations, regardless of the galaxy settings, are out there. Pre-FTL civilizations will be the empire species and homeworld, and one pre-FTL civilization will be uplifted with the payback origin. So, I don't remember if I've done Payback or not, but that is another fun one, and if I haven't, I'll probably end up doing that next. So, penalties. The starting planet is not their homeworld. Stellar culture shock. All the jobs are down, and that will expire after 10 years. So between years 10 and 20, things are really good. Ship debris, max districts are down, but that's just districts. We're missing some technologies, but we will get that. We cannot select slavery. We cannot select purging. Perjury, goodness gracious. Now, here's where I've decided to go lean into diplomacy really hard. Our available envoys are +1. First contact speed is up 20%. And our infiltration speed is up 20%. So, that's great. There's a whole big list of we cannot, and none of the things we have selected are, which is good enough for me. Alright, so, leaning into this, Diplomatic Corps. This society has a long tradition of rhetoric and debate, and celebrate those who are able to get their ways using only words. 2 more available envoys. Diplomatic weight is up 15%, our trust cap is up 40%, and envoy approval relations is up 75%. We can basically force people to like us. And if we choose our council position as High Ambassador, that trust cap can go up 5%. But also, Shadow Council. Unbeknownst to all its citizens, the society is actually manipulated from behind the scenes by a secretive Shadow Council. Appearances must be kept, but the tyranny of the majority should also be guarded against. After all, what if the fools vote in the wrong candidate? Our election terms is increased by 5 years. Election costs are down 75%. Our effective counselor skills are up +1. Code breaking is +1, and infiltration speed is 10%. So we had a little bit of infiltration on the origin, and we're going to lean into that too. If we have the Shadow Counselor council position, our ruler upkeep is down 4%, and since these guys are paid in Unity, that's a pretty good payment. So, I know they said egalitarian ethics are going to be leaned into, but we can pick that up later. I went with Fanatic Xenophile because there are pre-FTL civilizations out there, and I really want to lean into that. Plus, Fanatic Xenophile. Pacifist is also good, tends to make people like us. The stability and empire size is great since we're going to be doing a lot of diplomacy, so that also means migration treaties. But if you want to go into egalitarian, that is not a bad choice. That specialist pop resource output will help offset the downsides on the origin, but I tend to like pacifist for the long run. But in this particular case, there's no wrong choice. I also went with oligarchic. So we have a election every 25 years. Effective counselor skill is +2, which, goes into other things. And the empire affects our counselor experience gain is 5%, and our edicts fund is +5. So this is good for leaders. This is good for leaders. And we're all good for diplomacy and in code breaking traditions. Our advisor is based on Xenophile.
I may be an artificial intelligence, but I share your enthusiasm for seeking out fellow organic intelligences among the stars.
Aw, isn't that nice? Empire name, we're the Amoxdalon Sovereignty, because I like that sovereignty, sounds great. Our flag, so when I first initially made this, I thought I was going to be a combat thing, which is why I'm like, oh, look, we got this big fighter ship, and it looks kind of, like a fighter ship on a field. But after the diplomacy thing, now these are the diplomacy buildings with, the towers and the person in the middle, surrounded for him. I really didn't change the flag, but I really like how these two pieces fit together, so it looks really good. And we went with the reptilian thing, and with that orange on there, we get this beautiful orange glow. And I really, really like that orange glow. I don't have a lot of things that use orange, so that's always fun. Ruler appearance, I went with color variant 5. It blends into the background best, in my opinion. The, silvery white. Clothing 2, they are diplomatic, so some of these more hard armors, not so much. I mean, 1 kind of works, but I like 2 better. It's a little more humble. And speaking of appearance, I also chose this room because A, I hadn't chosen it before, and B, it's really nice. And it, to me, feels like, okay, we had a ship and we're trying our best to make it look prettier since it was a crashed ship. And, oh, I had not selected a ruler trait. Goodness gracious. Let's see, stability, infiltration, and operation costs. You know what? Let's do spycraft. That sounds fun. So do keep in mind, Broken Shackles is a challenging origin. We do start off with a good deal of penalties. However, the year between 10 and 20, we really take off, and after 20, we should have established ourselves and start expanding out, making friends. That's the main thing. We want to make friends, have them join us, immigrate, populate, and grow. But also, you know, keep our eyes on them. So let's start a game, and I'll show you how I like to start off. Free at last. Some were born into bondage. Others, crippled by debt, found themselves sold into indentured labor. But the technology of our former masters was not enough to save them. In secret, we planned our mutiny. During the brief, bloody struggle, our captors were killed, and their slave ship critically damaged. An emergency landing left us stranded on the surface of Camdor. Though we are made of a species of many different worlds, under your leadership we have found a common cause. In time, the damaged system of the slaver vessel will be repaired, and the bounty of our secrets, including the location of our former homeworlds, will be revealed. Our shackles are broken. Now the work begins. Gosh, I like that. This is also a candidate to have the worker voice pack if you want. Alright, so as you see, we do not have a science vessel or a construction ship already started, so we're going to want to start one of those. Definitely construction ship. Build up. And scientific method. Planetary government. Corvettes. And these basic technologies, we're going to want those going. And to Camdor we go. Auto-designate Empire Capital. We're going to need to build these up because there is... Oh, these buildings are not that great. But we're actually doing pretty good production-wise, so we'll take it. We'll take it. Also, I'm taking a look over at our species, and we have this species, these guys, humans, Iskarel, Iski, Lorengo. Yeah, as you see, we just have a ton of various pops. So, in the game's current build, this is going to slow you down as it has to track each one's uniqueness, but future updates have promised that this will be less of a problem. But for right now, we're going to just lean on that diplomacy to get everyone through this better. Unshackled politics. To unite against the former masters was easy. With a common enemy, we struggled and fought as one. But with freedom, cracks have started to appear. We are a people of many worlds. Our politics are no less diverse. Now factions are being founded. More will surely follow. As people, we now must navigate these differences with determine our fate. Complementary thinking. When diverse minds come together, there's no telling how they accomplish. In addition, a new non-Amoxil member of our research team is already producing results. We have gained the scientific method and a bunch of research. I'm not going to say no to that. Alright, so we have our first tradition to pick out. And while I normally would say discovery on almost all these things, we're definitely going to want to go into the more diplomatic things. Statecraft is another thing we'll want to probably do, but for later, definitely not the first one I would do. Subterfuge also on that second tier, but let's see, where is it? Discovered. Diplomacy. Diplomacy is very good. It gets our Federation experience gains up, diplomatic weight up, official capacity up, ascension perks, of course, and lets us unlocks the agenda to build relations and offer diplomatic grants, plus diplomatic influence cost is reduced by 50%. This is so good. The only issue with taking it as for your first thing is that you haven't found anyone yet, but I'd rather get this done sooner rather than later. In theory, you could also do politics, because this is the galactic community one, where diplomacy is more smaller groups, the hegemons and such, but both are incredibly useful. I'm going to go with diplomacy first on this
Council
particular
agenda
con.
available.
Also, before I get too far, the crashed slaver ship archaeological site did pop up. I wanted to get a leader of skill rank 2 before we start digging into that. Also, since I just spoke about the archaeological site, these ship debris can only be removed by investigating that crashed ship. So, while I didn't need to remove them immediately, still better sooner rather than later, because each one is a MAC district reducer. Alright, now I've had enough time. We got our first Ascension perk, and in this particular case, there's no one you want to really lean into. I'm going into Shared Destiny, because available envoys +2, subject exempt from divided patronage. This really leans into our diplomacy bent. And going into our next thing, I'm going to go into the politics one. Oh, can't. Galactic thing hasn't happened. So, subterfuge, statecraft, something else. Also, of the 4 endgame ones, which one should I suggest? I generally lean towards genetics, because I like where that goes. But if you can get psionics, go for it. Synthetics is always fun. Cybernetics is fun. It's really up to you. If you do synthetics, you can take all these disparate species and we can basically make them all the same template, which can actually make things a little easier if you ask me. But I always like going for genetics. I don't know, that feels more real. Get into subterfuge. That way when we do find people, we can start spying immediately. Lean into our bonuses. Non-spoiler spoiler, when you finish this initial thing, we will get this memorial to the Unshackled. It is a decision, so do remember to click that. It is worth it. Trust me. Trust me, trust me. Okay, so we have found the slavers, and not only do we have enough envoys that we can both diplomacy, improve relations, and espionage them, but anyone else we come across. Right now I'm sitting on 10 envoys, and that's amazing. Alright everyone, I think I've gotten you off to a good enough start. Remember to keep your diplomacy up. Keep your eye on the situation log, because there is some really interesting events, mostly about finding homeworlds, and just follow along. If you use your friends like armor, I'm sure they will be very useful. And having a nice diplomatic thing without having a super diplomatic start does feel very good. Having these friends around will keep other things at bay. So with that being said, here's where I'm going to say thank you all for joining me. I really hope you're enjoying this series as much as I'm enjoying making it for all of you. If you do, you know what to do, and that's to like, comment, and of course, subscribe. It's a little click for you, but a really big deal for me, and I greatly appreciate everyone who does. And speaking of people I appreciate, here's the list of my patrons over at Patreon, linked down below. And I'd like to give a special shout out to all my patrons who help make these videos possible: Aaron Smith, Brian Pelfrey, Chris Armstrong, Dennis Detman, Harry Thompson, and Mark Milius. Thank you all so much for your contributions. I wouldn't have this channel without you. Thank you very much.